Let me know, guys, what we were doing in the last session. Quick. So in the last session, we were focusing on the Ansible stuff, right? So we were working on the Ansible setup. So that is what we were working on, right? We'll do the same thing. So just give me a minute, guys. Okay. So we talked about Ansible basic things, and today we'll focus on Ansible setup actually. So we'll focus on yesterday we focused on server was ready, but we did not install the software yet, but only static was done. So today the agenda is we'll create the client machine and we'll put it on static IP and we'll proceed with Ansible on the Ansible server. We'll try to install the software and then if time permits, we'll focus on the Ansible architecture case. So that is what we'll do today. So three major activities: client setup, software install, architecture. So let's see. Oracle VM box. So the machine is this. Good. Because I'm on wired, I changed it to wired wantedly today. So where it is operating? Still it is on Wi-Fi. Okay. So that's fine. Refresh this, click OK and start. So I got into the computer. I put my password, right? So I'll tap NMTUI, activate a connection, activate. So it is taking long time. Why like that? No, this is client machine, Sushmita. We did not set up now yet. Master we done. So this is a client machine. think we did not set up yet. So I got an error. So what I'll do is I'll switch to the wired connection first. Okay. So guys, please confirm. Are you guys able to listen to me? Okay, nice. I switch it to the wired. So let me change this setting also. I'm guessing there is Wi-Fi problem at my end. So that is the reason I'm switching to the wired connection. Okay, it got worked. So quick. So host name hyphen capital I. So it is how much? 192.168.1.2. Are you guys writing the steps or just watching? Confirm guys you're watching or writing the steps also. Okay. So writing. Nice. So you need to write. So what is our duty is, so once you get connected to the machine, install the Git. The reason is I have written already a script which will help you to convert the machine into a static IP. I'm going to utilize that script. So to download the script, definitely I require Git, and which is sitting in my GitHub. So it is trying to do the Git. So I'll proceed with Y. It is trying to install now. Y. It is done. So what is my next step, guys? So I want to ask you guys, because since you already saw the server stuff, so tell me what is my next step? Any guess? What is my next step? Yeah, next step is git clone. So you put the URL of the link where my script is sitting. So the script in link is there in my notes. So I am going to my notes now, and I'll find out the script link and put it there. So here it is. So I'll just copy it and I'll go there. Not here, here. And I'll say git clone and put that link and press enter. Done. ls-l. I see my script folder, which I cloned. Get into that script and check you'll have a script file there. So this is a script file, static setup.ipsh. So you need to run this script. You need to simply say sh command and type the file name. That's it. Got it? Press enter. So it is saying enter a new host name to configure for VM. So we need to follow the plan. So according to my plan, so what is my plan, guys? Okay, this is a plan. So we already did this yesterday. We are trying to do this. So machine name should be Ansible hyphen node 1. So Ansible hyphen node 1. Then static IP address 192.168.1.150. Default gateway 192.168.1.1. The computer will restart. So it is restarting, guys. So once it is up, so we need to verify whether it is good or bad. So third one is we just ran this script, nothing else. And once it is up, we'll verify whether things have in place or not. So while the machine comes up, what I'll do is I'll go to this part. Our next part is Ansible server software now. So our target is to install the software on it. So what I'll do, so I'm going to start the machine now. So let's see what this machine. Go to the settings. I know that today I'm sitting on wired. I'll change this to the wired connection. That's it. And start the machine. So what we need to do on that computer, guys? So once the server is up, what we have to do? What is our step? What is our step, Divya, Kavya, Mayuri, Pavan, Bhagat? So what we have to do with our mission? So server is up. Okay. So before jumping onto the server, so let me get into the client machine and check if everything is good. So root, this is a client machine. I logged in. First, I'll ask its name, host name command. So it says Ansible -node 1. So as per our plan, we got it. So host name is a command which will help you to make sure that the machine, it will show the machine name case. If you want to see the IP address, then host name -capital I. The first part is your IP address, see 192.168.1.15. So as per our plan, this is in place. Now, next thing is we are traveling to the, moving on to the next mission, that is server. So we'll get into the server and our target is to install the Ansible software. So 192.168.1.200 is our server, we know it. So root, and we put the password and got connected. Are we clear on the connection, guys? We got connected. So now our duty is to install the software of Ansible server on it. So to do that, go on to the internet, guys. So you have to installation of Ansible software on the server. So before you install, you have to check the kernel version. So can you tell me the reason why? Why we have to check the kernel version? This is one of the questions only. So why we have to check the kernel version? I want the answers from your side. Anything, it's fine. The reason is, before you install the Ansible software on the machine, right? So we have to check the kernel version. The reason is that Linux machine should have the kernel version greater than or equal to 3.10. This is the reason. What is this headache that people are pinging? Now let me quit. My intervention is not required. Okay. So I hope you got the reason. So the reason to check the kernel version is because on the machine you need to check whether kernel version is greater than or equal to 3.10. So if it is less, we cannot proceed. If it is greater, we should proceed. So uname -r. So what is the kernel version now? I hope you guys can see on the screen. It is 3.10. So it is satisfied. That means the condition is satisfied. According to the condition, it should be greater than or equal to 10. So we are good. We are not worried. So the next step is you need to open up the web link. So this is a place where you can download the the software, guys. So go ahead and copy this and put it on the internet or click on that link. It will open up. So once, okay, what happened? Page cannot be found. Huh? Why? So we'll see where is this page. Installation guide. Okay. So I think this is right one. So I'll update the page. Hold on. We cannot proceed if it is less than 3. That's it. That's a simple rule. No, you cannot solve. How you will solve? When other person Ansible is telling that, that you have to install above 3.10, right? So you need to follow them now. So if you want to solve, then you need to upgrade. Your Linux version should be upgraded. Change the machine. Yeah, that's the only thing. See, frankly, most of the machines will be 99% 3.10 and above only. So we are not worried about those kernel stuff. Okay. So 3.8, 3.9 or 10 years ago machines. So currently most of the machines are 3.10 only. 3.10, 3.11, 3.12. So this is a web link. So go on to the site. So go on to the site. So once you reach to the site, so this is how the site looks like. So target is to install this Ansible on Fedora or a CentOS. You see this option, guys, because in these options you need to figure out the right one. A lot of options are there. So we are trying to install on this one. Do you agree with that? Correct, right? So that is what we are trying to do. So let me take the screenshot for your comfort. So once you reach to this site, so your duty is to select this one. Okay, copy this and go there. Let me update the notes. Yeah. So that is what we have. So I'll proceed on the site and I'll say click on this. So you'll reach to this page. Say install on CentOS. So that is what I want. So they given some command, just copy it and put it there. So just say right click copy and put it there and press enter. Proceed Y. If you were on the call today, on the internship call. I didn't see you on the call today. Okay, fine, nice. Okay, so next is this one, guys. Sudo yum install Ansible. So copy this and put it there and press enter. So it is taking its own time. So we are saying sudo yum install Ansible. So while it comes up, I want to update. So Let me put it in the middle. Yep. Okay, it is trying to do. Now you have to keep an eye on this, what it is going to do. Because one of the pre-requirement to install the Ansible was Python. So this installation will search for if you have a Python on the computer or not. If there is no Python installed, then first it will install the Python, then only it will install the Ansible. So you can see on the screen. So it is telling you that you told me to install Ansible, but it is about to install all these dependencies. All are related to Python stuff only. You can see most of them are Python, Python, Python. So what happens is first Python gets installed or whatever dependencies of Python, then it will move on to the installation of Ansible. So proceed Y. You can see on the screen, it is trying to install the Python now. So that is your question for your answer. That is Enterprise Linux. Okay, proceed Y. So it is installing all the Python dependencies. So you can see it is done. Correct. So once it is done, our duty is to verify whether installation has been done successfully or not. So now the question comes is how do you verify the Ansible software installation on the server? So the command is you can try any one of them. So I recommend you to try this. So this is the good thing that you can. This can also be useful, but I prefer to go with this Ansible stuff. So you say Ansible hyphen version. So you got the output. Do you see the output on the screen, guys? Confirm. Anuja, Atif, Divya, Naik, Kavya. Okay, nice. So from this data that you see on the screen, I want you to make a note of few interesting facts here, which maybe you need to know. So those are which version of Ansible did you install? So the version is seen here on the screen. See, Ansible 2.9.27. So we are practicing with the 2.9.27 version of Ansible. And the configuration of the file, the config file of the Ansible sits at this location. So make a note of that file location and you need to memorize this in the brain. The reason is sometimes when necessity comes, we will open up that file path or we'll open up the file sitting in that location and we make some necessary changes in the file being working in your DevOps capacity. So that is the reason the location of the configuration file is important for your knowledge. So please make a note. So the config file sits at /etc/ansible/ansible.cfg. Am I clear on this point? The next Next most important fact that you need to grasp is this one. So on which version of Python does or do you think this Ansible is operating now? So this is sitting upon 2.7.5 version of the Python. So on this machine, it has installed Python version 2.7.5. So upon that, Ansible is operating, and the config file is /etc/ansible/ansible.cfg. Am I clear, Kirti, Shravya, Mayuri, Maunika? So whatever the output detail that you're getting from this, you need to grasp three very important things: version, config file, Python version. Okay, so these are critical. Sometimes you need to know. The next, please make a note of the architecture. So before you make architecture, I want to take that screenshot. Hold on and put it there. So this is an expected output. Yeah. Okay. Now I want to make a note of the architecture diagram, guys. So please write this diagram in your notes quickly. So once this is done, I'll explain you in the board. Go ahead. Go ahead and write and let me know once you've drawn this diagram. So this is an official diagram of architecture. So is it done? Please confirm. Okay. So let me go ahead and put it on the screen. MS Paint. So I'll use this diagram, guys. Today I don't have a writing pad with me, so I'll use this. Okay. So let's assume this is our server. Okay. So let's assume this is the server. So on the server, we know that this is a 64-bit, correct? So these are some common points. So let me write the common points here. So this is a Linux machine, and this is an agentless. Okay, agentless, correct? So that's an Linux machine, and that's an agentless. And the next thing is kernel version should be greater than 3 dot greater than, what is that, 3.10. And also on this Python should be pre-installed. Then only we'll install the software. So these are all common things. Okay. Now, if you're talking about the clients here, so let's assume this is a client, and let's assume this is a client, and let's assume this is a client. Okay. Client 1, client 2, client 3. So likewise, how many clients you can have? So this can be like silly logic question that wrinkles in your brain, or you may get a doubt. So how many clients you can have? So according to the Ansible, they said that the capacity of the clients, Ansible server, that means one server can handle up to 2000 machines, client machines. Clear on this? So that is a limit, max and limit. So like in our vehicles, we know how much is a tank size, correct? So tank size we know, so maximum petrol that or diesel you can put. So that's a limit. So beyond that you can't. So likewise, server also, its capacity is it can handle up to 2000 clients. Beyond that, no. So that's a limit what Ansible is telling. Now, so now let's say this is a Linux client, and let's say this is a Windows client. Got it? So Linux and Windows. Now on the server side, you have two important components, guys. I repeat, on the server side, you have two important components. Okay, so let me draw those two things. So two important components you have. So the first important component, we call it as playbook. First important component is playbook. Am I clear on this? So far diagram looks very clear for you, because I'm not using my writing pad. Today does not exist with me. So server and clients I have taken, limit we spoke. Then on the server side, you need to understand two important major things is, first one is playbook. So what is this playbook stuff? So playbook is a place where you go ahead and write the code of IaaC. Remember what is an IaaC? I think day before yesterday I told you, or yesterday I guess. So the code of IaaC means it's infrastructure as a code. Or if I talk very straight, so Ansible is a place where this playbook is a place where you go ahead and write your deployment script, guys. That's it. So deployment script, we write it. Correct? Whatever you're planning to deploy in the DevOps for your infrastructure, we just go ahead and write it in that playbook. So that is what the playbook is. Now, that is the first important component. Second important component is inventory file. Okay. So second important component is inventory file. So this is also called as host inventory file. So in short, I'm calling this as inventory file, but technically this is referred as host inventory file. Host inventory file. Now what you write here? So in this what we do is we document about the client details, guys. So we write the client details. So why we have to write the client details here? So in the inventory file, you have to mention the client details. If you do not mention the client details means I'm talking about these guys. Okay, I'm talking about these fellows. Okay, this missions and this and this. So these details will be written here. So if you do not write the client details, Ansible is not capable of talking to it. So Ansible or the server knows whom to talk, whom not to talk. That happens based on the inventory file only. So in the inventory file, we are telling that, okay, these are the machines of our infrastructure and you are supposed to only talk to them. That's it. Am I clear on this point? So if you forgot to mention the client details, or by chance if you missed to put the details of the client in the inventory file, are you expecting the server to talk to the client, or are you expecting the server to do the deployment on that particular client? What will be your answer, guys? The answer is definitely no, because the capability is coming from inventory file only. Again, second question. Let's say you mentioned the details, but the question comes is how far they are correct. So even if you mention incorrect details about your client, still things will not work. So the assumption is whatever the data that you're trying to write into the inventory file of the client, every detail is written clear and correct. Then only the assumption looks like Ansible can talk to the client. Got it? Nagireddy, Rajat, Pawan, Bhagat, Prithviraj. So inventory file is the most important thing here. So it is something like a guide or something like a direction. Got it? So now, now I'm going little deeper into the playbook now. So let's say some subsidiary points. Okay. Some subsidiary points we'll talk is. The some subsidiary points are point number 1. The point number 1 is, or let's put it like this, far better. I'll write it in the text only. So whatever I'm trying to write, these are relevant to the playbook only here. So I told you that we'll write the deployment code in the playbook, and these playbooks are written using YAML language. YAML. The playbooks are written using the YAML, and even the inventory file also is written using the YAML only. So in entire story of the Ansible, YAML plays a major dominance role here. I think I told you in the introduction class also that Ansible scriptings are written in YAML. So if you don't like the YAML, then another choice is you can write in Python. So those who know already the language of Python, so it is easy for them. So those who are not aware of Python, still you can write the code using YAML. And YAML is super easy. So it's not a tough language. It is damn super easy. Hardly takes only couple of hours to acquire the knowledge of YAML. Got it? So YAML is easy. So playbooks are written using the YAML. In the playbooks, we are going to use some kind of functions. For example, a correlation to make you understand. In Excel, everybody knows the Excel. Am I right? Do you agree, guys? Everybody knows the Excel. In the Excel, we have some formulas. Am I correct? Yes or no, guys? Yeah, we everybody know that there is an Excel and that it contains some formulas. Now the logic is each formula of an Excel can do something. Correct? So if we're planning to do some addition, we have to use some function. If you're trying to do calculations of averages, you need to do average function. So likewise here in Ansible, when you're writing the playbooks, they have given some functions for you. Okay. But they don't call that as a function. Technically here they refer those as modules. Okay. Modules. Okay. Like an Ansible, like an Excel gave you the functions, correct? Like is Ansible is giving something called modules. So using some module, some, let's say some X module can do some work. Some Y module can do some activity. Z module can do some activity. So there are a lot of modules in the Ansible. So each module is capable of doing some particular activity. So that is the benefit of modules. Am I clear so far? So that means playbooks are written using the YAML standards and using the modules. So playbook is nothing but the collection of modules only. Okay. Nice. And in the inventory file, we have to mention the details of client. So that is about the inventory file. Now, very important thing is another important thing, another story I'm going. Where is this direction symbol? Okay, this one. A server will talk to the Linux client based on a protocol called as SSH. Clear? A server will talk to the Linux client based on a protocol called as SSH. Likewise, a server will talk to a Windows client based on a protocol called as WinRM. WinRM, guys. And I am just calling this as a protocols, but technically in the subject, these concept what I'm just told you, that connection between a server and a Linux uses SSH. A connection between server and a Windows client, the connection is WinRM. So this is called as, these are called as connection plugins. These are called as connection plugins. Okay. These are classified as connection plugins or protocols also, guys. We call this as protocols also. So that is the story. Now go back to the diagram and verify whatever you studied now. Now let's compare. Let's compare the little knowledge, guys, whatever you learned. Okay. Host inventory clear. This part is host inventory. You understood now what is host inventory now? So in the host inventory, you have to declare the client details. So this is clear. What is this? This is nothing but playbooks. We are officially looking at the diagram. So what the diagram that you see on the screen is an official diagram of Ansible, guys, which kept in their documentation. I just copied from it. So you need to always be aware of official diagram. The next, they are talking about the module. See, module. This part is modules. So module, they have given two lists there. One is core modules, another one is custom modules. So two types of modules are there. So in simple words at this point, because we have a separate chapter on modules, but at this point, if you want to understand, in modules are also two types are there: core modules and custom. Core modules means nothing but already pre-written modules given by them. We just use them for our use case. Custom modules means you are altogether writing a Python code to develop a module and then use it. Clear? So first one looks like making an order of biryani. Means already somebody cooked, we just order it. Okay, something like already model is written by Ansible, we just use it. This looks like we buy all the ingredients and make the biryani at home. So that means we cook self. Got it? So that is how the best comparison. Then these are connection plugins. See, this part, everything is connection plugin, and these are all clients. Clients means that our this machines, and Ansible, this is server, which can talk to these machines, traditional machines, which are sitting in your data center, and this can also talk to the cloud. Whether it is on the cloud or data center, it does not matter for Ansible. It can talk anywhere. Am I clear on the diagram now? Confirm, guys. Okay. So I hope you got the diagram. Now I want you guys to take down this into your books. Please draw this diagram into your books. Rahul, which question? Modules is part of playbooks, right? Then there is SSY, they're shown differently. Where is this? You're talking about this bookish diagram. No, part of the playbook means it doesn't mean that they sit in the, see, you have to write the playbook using the modules. That is the meaning of what I'm trying to tell you. The meaning what I'm trying to tell you is, if you want to write a playbook, you have to use the modules. Without modules, playbook cannot be written. Got it? So that's the reason I said a playbook, definitely module is a part of it. Because if there is no module in the playbook, nothing can be executed. Okay, I hope you guys took this diagram. Then next we'll move on. What is next? Okay, so the next thing is you need to know how to connect or how to introduce. See, let me clear all these things now. So this is very much important DevOps activity on what we are about to talk for next 5-10 minutes. This is always DevOps activity. So let's say this guy is our server. Okay. So we'll say this guy has a server. Everything is ready. And we are trying to introduce to this guy a mission. Okay. So this is a mission. So this is a client mission and this is a Linux one. So imagine that's a Linux stuff. Now this Linux mission, if you want to make this guy to talk to each other, that means you're trying to give the connection between two. Okay. So you have to introduce, see, let's say whenever you have a new machine coming into the architecture and you want to bring it under the control of Ansible server, then definitely you have to do some connection process there. So generally this kind of connection process in corporates, we call this as bootstrapping. Did you heard this word? Generally, we call this as bootstrapping, yes. Okay. But Ansible never uses this kind of word in their subject. So that's the reason I'm not using this word here now. But in simple English, I can say it's all about introducing a client to its server. Okay. So that we call it as simply connection. Now, when you're trying to introduce a Linux machine or a Windows machine to a server, what details are required? Blindly things cannot happen. So these are the minimum details of the client that are required. So the details are there on the notes. You can see you require the IP address of the client. You require the host name of the client. You require the user ID of the client. You require the password of the client and you require the OS type of the client. There are a lot of methods out there, but this is the most easiest one, very efficient one and easy one also. So these are the minimum details of the client you should be aware. Got it? Now this is what. So let's fill up our details here. Now tell me guys, what is the IP address of our client? Client IP. What is our client IP address? We just done now today configuration. 192.168.1.150. Okay. 200 is the server. I'm talking about client only. What is the host name? This is what we configured. Okay. So these two informations are super clear. So we are not worried. Third one is where you have to be cautious. Okay. Third one, whatever the client is being given to you, and you need to have an ID with you, which you can use to log in into the client, guys. I'm not talking about server. I'm talking about client. So if they told you that you need to configure this machine, then you have to ask them, so please create an ID for me on that machine or share me the ID of that machine. Login ID. You require either you guys need a login ID or he has to share the login ID. So whatever it is. So assume that I got login ID. Okay. So this is root and its password. I got it. So you require ID and password. So these details are easy. Now you need to know what is the client operating system also. OS type is also required. So these are the 5 details you have to be aware of about the client. Now there is one clause here. Conditions apply like bank people. One clause. What is that clause? The clause is, or the condition is, if the account that is given to you, if it is a root account or administrator account of the Windows, then life becomes super easy. Life is super easy means things will happen so smooth. But by chance, if they given the user ID of a user, let's say John, okay, John, not root account, some John, that John should have, that is your duty to verify, your duty only, guys. So it's your duty to verify whether John account has sudo power or not. So definitely I can write in English straight as John needs sudo power. If sudo power does not exist, things will not work. Sudo power is required. Am I clear on this point? So let's say if they are creating the user ID for you on that machine, then your ID needs to carry sudo power. Now, how many of you have completed your Linux classes on sudo? Did Imran teach you sudo in your Linux classes so far? Okay, I guess then my part becomes easy. So what is the purpose of sudo? So whatever the root access or the admin. So let's talk in simple. For a John, if I want to give some admin power, so that can be done by sudo. That's it. If you assign the sudo power to the John, he can work as an admin. Clear? His ID will act as a power like an admin account. Correct? Simple. We'll talk in simple English only. So once you understand the concept, then it becomes easy. Okay, so these are the 5 major things, the details that you require. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do it. Now, 5 details I am ready. Okay. Now where you will write the details, guys? Okay, we have all the details ready. So I'll say it. Details are ready. Details are ready. Now where you will write the details? That is the point. You have to write in the inventory file. So where the inventory file is? Where is the inventory file? Will it be there on the client or will it be there on the server? On the server. So that means the inventory file is sitting here. Okay. Inventory file sits on the server. Now, where is this file? The location is important now. Where is this location? So this file sits in /etc. Please write it. This is very important. /etc/ansible/host. So this is a file you have to open and write the details of the client. Now, when you're writing the details of the client, so we cannot write in our own style. You need to follow a method. There is a way given for it. Like in your school, in college days or school age, I guess, when you have to write a letter for leave means you have a standard template now. Yes or no? In your school ages, guys, if you want to apply for a leave, there is a standard template. To the principal, we write all in logical. Have to follow that template. So here also there is a template for you. So you need to follow that. That's it. Okay. So whatever the metrics they have given, they are called as inventory parameters, guys. You need to remember these words only. Inventory parameter. So you have to feed the values into the inventory parameter. So I would say now, so in that inventory file, you have to feed the values into the inventory parameters. Clear? Understood? I guess today you guys maybe Divya, Sushmita, Kavya, you might have faced this in your project that you were guys are working. Correct? So the guys you were working on the project, you were doing this activity only, no? So development environment, you are trying to set up and you are trying to feed the values into the inventory. Got it? So you're trying to feed the values because until unless you feed the values, this guy server will not talk to the client at all, right? Okay. So now we'll feed the values. So what values you need to feed? So let's see. So this is what they given. It looks like match the following. Now let's see what to do. So this is what they given. This is what you have to remember, guys. This is there. You will find all these values on internet when you Google it. So no worries. So we don't buy heart. I keep on telling everybody we don't buy heart. We just practice it couple of times and remember it. And you need to know how to navigate. That's it. So let's go there and open up this file. Let me increase the first of all font. So vi / etc / ansible / host. Open this. So already you'll have some data. So don't jungle with them. So these are all hash oriented. That means nothing. Everything is comment. So they just given a sample to make you understand. So ignore that part. Now our duty is to write our own stuff now. So let's start. So whatever the configuration that you're going to write in this line, you have to be little careful. Okay. So what each line, I repeat once again, each line that you write the details here, some like this, each line it will consider as one computer. You understood? Like you remember the git ignore? You remember the git ignore concept, guys? In each line, you have to talk about only one file or one directory, correct? That of git ignore. Likewise here, each line indicates is used for only one computer. Got it? So whenever you write this configurations, you have to start with some alias name. Okay. We are on the server only. You can see the IP address is 200. We are on server only. Rahul, silly logic. If it is client machine, first of all, this file will not exist. Correct? Got it now? So very silly logic. So this file only exists on the server, so we are not worried. So open up on the server this file and let's document. So first metric to feed Ansible _ host. See, all the metrics are given here only. I'll call it as metric in general, but technically we have to call this as parameter. So for your understanding, I'm saying metric. Let's call it parameter only so that you will be comfortable. So first parameter is this. So in this, you have to feed the IP address only. So is equal to, what is our IP address of our client? Client IP address, you have to feed it there. What is our client IP? Yeah, you need to put 192.168.1.150. Easy. Once you updated that value, give a space. Then you have to talk about next metric or next parameter. Ansible, you observe how I am writing. First of all, I am not writing in capitals. Everything is written in small case. Okay. So Ansible _ connection, next metric. Is equal to. So this connection value will depend upon the client operating system. As simple as it is. This connection value will depend on client operating system. If client operating system is, so according to the diagram, so let's go by this. I'll write the point here. If it is Linux, then the value should be SSH. If it is Windows computer, then the value should be WinRM. That's it. Got it? I have already mentioned in the notes. See, the connection underscore value is SSH if it is Linux or a Mac. Else, if it is Windows, you have to use WinRM. That's it. So let's make it. So it is SSH. You understood why I've written SSH now? Confirm, guys. Connection, why I've written SSH, not WinRM? Because my client is not Windows. My client is Linux only. So I'll write SSH. So when you write the connection value, automatically the port number is decided. It is 22 because SSH port number is 22. If it is Windows, then you can choose any of this number in between 5986 to 5989, any number between that. Okay. Again, give a space. What is the next metric or property? Ansible underscore user. So here you need to feed the user ID of which you have an access into the client. Which user ID you are planning, guys? What is the user ID? You have already details with you now. So that is nothing but root, right? Nice. The next property is this. Now, last property is what you have to be again apply the common sense. You have to use this property. I repeat this one. When your client is Linux operating system. And you have to use this property when your client is Windows operating system. So this is for Linux. This is for Windows. Now you tell me, guys, which one should I use? Either first or a second? What I should use? First only, correct? So that's the reason I'll copy this. I'll go there, give a space, type it. No, I'll type it better. SS Ansible underscore S. What is that value? SSH underscore pass. Okay. SSH underscore pass is equal to the password. This is my password of that machine I've given. You understood now, guys, how I've written? Clear so far? Yeah. For this configuration or whatever the line that you have written, go to the beginning of the line and you declare the configuration, because each line or each machine that you're going to declare here, you have to give a configuration name for it. We call it as alias name, or in simple, you can say configuration name. So this configuration I would say as my, what do I will say, guys? Give me some nice names. Can I say that is my, what do you will say? Can I say node 1 space? So you always begin with some configuration name. So rest feed all the values. Got it? So write all the values, or you start with the configuration name, decide some configuration name. You'll understand why we have to use this in shortly. So configuration name is this. That means all this is being referred as node 1. That is the meaning. So all these details are being referred as node 1 here. Got it? So save this and come out. That's it. So keep in mind, unless you enter all the values in that line, don't press enter. So only once you fill all the values in that particular line, then only press enter and come out. Come out of the file. So this is done. Now, once this is done, you have to check the connection. The next level is check the connection. So once you're entering all these values, your next step is to check the connection. To check the connection, there is a process here. We call it as ping test. Ansible ping test, guys, not normal ping test. I'm talking about Ansible ping test. So this is what the command is. Okay. So let me do it for you. So the command is Ansible, starts with a word called Ansible. Then you have to type the configuration name. Which configuration name you are going to ping now? What is that configuration name? Node 1. Yes. Node 1. You remember why I am calling now node 1? Clear? Node 1. So Ansible node 1. Okay. Give a space and type -m. -m is the to call a module. If you want to call a module of Ansible, you have to use in the command -m. Which module I want to call or which module I want to use. I want to use a module called ping. Ping module. So ping module of Ansible can help you to check the communication between the two computers, between this and that. This means server, that means node. Then give a space. Then always you need to mention where the inventory file is. Where are the details of this node 1? Where did you write this node 1 details, guys? Tell me. -i /etc/ansible/host. Do you agree? Node 1 details are mentioned in this file. Do you agree? Yes or no? What is that file? That is nothing but inventory file. So when you want to attach the inventory file in the command, you have to use -i. That is the reason I was using -i. Clear? So the command, let me come back to the command. Ansible node 1 details are there in this file. Correct? Please try out ping command. That's it. English. Ansible node 1 details are mentioned in this file. Please try out ping command and give me the result. Shall I try? Will it work, guys? First of all, check whether the machine is up or not. Yeah, the client machine is up. So we can try. Give it a try and see what happens. Shall I press enter? Yep. It's not working. First time when you try this, it will not work because in the configuration file, we have to do some small changes are there. Okay, so let me do it. So open up the configuration file. What is a configuration file path? I told you to guys to make a note of it. What is the file path? Tell me. Look into your notes and tell me, guys, what is the path of the configuration file? Configuration file, Ansible configuration file path I want. etc/ansible/ not inventory path configuration .cfg. This is the file. Please make a note. This is the file path of the configuration of Ansible. You need to open this file. Open this. And you already have some existing data. So don't play with it. Okay. Your target is to move on to the roughly 30th line. Roughly 30. Around line number 30 or scroll up to roughly 30 lines. From top 30 lines. After 30 lines only you'll find that value what we are looking. So do you see the value that says host key checking is equal to false? You see this line, what I have highlighted. Correct? Now, I want to ask an aptitude question here. Most of the students in other batches also give wrong answers. I want to try on your batch and see how you guys will respond. Okay. I want host underscore key underscore checking to be active. Currently it is not active. I want this to be active. What I should do? Please tell me. I repeat the question. Host underscore key underscore checking is equal to false. Currently that line is not working. I want that line to be active or should be working. What I should do? So how many of you guys say that we need to make that value to that true? The value, the people who say that the value should be made it to the true or incorrect. The reason is, if you simply remove the hash here, that value becomes working. Do you agree? Currently that line is not working or not active because comment symbol is there. Hash is nothing but comment. If you remove the comment, that means that became active or you given a life to it. Do you agree, guys? So earlier it was like a hash there. So that was like statue. Correct, like childhood game statue. Now you remove the hash there, then it starts working. It can move and it can do its work. Correct? You understood, guys? So our target is to just go to that line and remove that hash symbol. That's it, nothing else. So I removed it and saved this file and come out and try. No, I need to try again. Where is that? Yeah. What is happening? It's taking long time. It is traveling to US or what? Signal is traveling to US. Okay. I don't know why it took long, but fine. So it traveled to the client computer and checked and came back. So you see the answer, guys. This is where you need to keep focus. This line is sufficient. It says node 1 is success. Now, does it indicate now? So does it mean that our server is talking to the client? Do you agree? So that means both are talking to each other, correct? So server is able to reach out to the client. So that is the meaning of ping here. Got it now? So unless the ping is working, don't write any playbooks at all. It's a waste of time. Am I correct? Because first of all, if they are talking only, then if you write some playbook here, it makes sense that, see, if you write the playbook here on this mission, and if you want that to work, then first of all, they should talk to each other. Then only the playbook will travel to this machine and gets implemented and tells back to the computer that it is over. So no playbook can be useful unless these two guys are talking. That's the reason whenever you configure any machine to the server, please do a ping test and check whether they are talking to each other or not. Okay. So if the ping test is fine, then only proceed with writing the playbook. Otherwise, not required. Clear? Okay. Then you know what is this GK of the day? Ping is equal to pong. Why it is called ping is equal to pong? GK of the day, tell me guys. Why ping is equal to pong? Security? Mm-hmm. So there is one funny joke is there in that. That funny part is the person who invented ping command is his name is ping pong. That is the reason that is ping is equal to pong. You got the story now? The person who invented ping command, that guy's name was ping pong. That's the reason that is called ping is equal to pong. Okay. Yeah. So a small nice joke of it, but you can remember for a long time. So person who invented ping command is ping pong. That's it. So that's all for the day, guys. We'll stop it here. Any questions from your side? You can ask me. So tomorrow there is no class. I repeat, tomorrow is a festival. We know Shivaratri festival. So tomorrow is a festival, and we'll come back on Monday. Got it? So whatever the inventory file that you have written today, I repeat, whatever the Sunday no class, tomorrow no class. We have to come back on Monday. So one last clarification, guys. Whatever the inventory file that you guys have written today, that comes under the concept of static inventory file. Or static or dynamic, that is not right, but better thing is, according to Ansible, there are two types of inventory file. Please write this in a book quickly. So the first one is default and the next one is non-default inventory file. So default and non-default, guys. So default means nothing but in this only. /etc/ right? This is the file where we just written, that is called default inventory. If you're writing the details of the client in this file, then you call that as default inventory file. That location is called default inventory file only. And non-default inventory file, I'll show you in the class what to do with it. Okay. So that will take after 2 or 3 days from now, not today. So we'll see the non-default story also, but not today, after through 2 or 3 classes. Remind me. Okay. So whatever you experimented, everything is default. You're writing in the default inventory only. Yeah. That's it, guys. And let's catch up on Monday. Happy festival and come back on Monday, guys. See you. Bye-bye.